welcome to another monthly portfolio update. If you are stopping by for the first time, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. In this video, I will share with you how much I invested in my taxable account in July, how many shares I bought, and the value of my portfolio at the end of July. But as always, before I continue, a quick disclaimer. The information that I'm sharing is not financial advice. Before you invest in anything, please do your own research and make sure that you only invest in things that you understand. With that being said, I will dive right into my portfolio update. I will start with a quick recap of my June portfolio to show you the value of the portfolio and how many shares I had before the beginning of July. The total value of my portfolio at the end of June was $68,303.35. $68,132.32 was the market value of my investments, and $171.03 was the cash amount. At the end of June, my portfolio was up $15,532.10. This was a plus 29.53%. These are my holdings: 2 Vanguard ETFs and 2 BlackRock ETFs. VCN is a Vanguard ETF that tracks the Canadian market. I had 100 shares of VCN at the end of June. VFV is a Vanguard S&P 500 Index ETF. This is the Canadian version of VOO. I had 270 shares of VFV at the end of June. XEQT is a BlackRock ETF. This is an all-in-one equity ETF. It holds Canadian equities, US equities, developed market equities outside of North America, and emerging market equities. If you want to hold a single equity ETF which is globally diversified, you might consider looking into XEQT. I had 460 shares of XEQT at the end of June. XUU is a BlackRock ETF that tracks the US total stock market, and I had 252 shares of XUU at the end of June. I will now show you how much I invested in July and how many shares I bought. I bought 2 shares of VCN. The cost per share was $45.89. The total cost, $91.78. This is 10% of the amount that I invested in July. I bought 3 shares of VFV. The cost per share was $135.02. The total cost, $405.06. This is 45% of the amount that I invested in July. I bought 6 shares of XEQT. The cost per share was $31.52. The total cost, $189.14. This is 21% of the amount that I invested in July. I bought 4 shares of XUU. The cost per share was $55.82. The total cost, $223.27. And this is 25% of the amount that I invested in July. In total, I bought 15 shares, all the ETFs combined. And the amount that I invested in July was $909.25. This is $175.73 more than the amount that I invested in June. As you can see, in June I invested $733.52, and in July, $909.25. The difference is $175.73. The total equity of my portfolio at the end of July was $70,946.80. $70,945.32 was the market value of my investments, and $1.48 was the cash amount. At the end of July, my portfolio was up $17,435.85. This is plus 32.58%. As of July the 31st, I had 102 shares of VCN, 273 shares of VFV, 466 shares of XEQT, and 256 shares of XUU. All right, let's now take a look at some quick details about each of the positions. I will start with VCN. The closing market price on July the 31st was $47.06. The quantity of shares that I had, 102. The average price, $40.97. The book value, which is how much I have invested in VCN, was $4,179.17. The market value was $4,800.12. This was 6.77% of my portfolio. VCN was up $620.95, or 14.86%. Next, we have VFV. The closing market price on July the 31st was $135.30. The quantity of shares that I had, 273. The average price, $97.98. The book value was $26,750.69. The market value was $36,936.90. This was 52.06% of my portfolio. VFV was up $10,186.21, or 38.08%. Then we have XEQT. The closing market price on July the 31st was $31.75. The quantity of shares that I had, 466. The average price, $25.52. The book value was $11,892.65. The market value was $14,795.50. This was 20.85% of my portfolio. X equity was up to $2,902.85, or 24.41%. Finally, we have XUU. The closing market price on July the 31st was $56.30. The quantity of shares that I had, 256. The average price, $41.74. The book value was $10,686.96. The market value was $14,412.80. This was 20.31% of my portfolio. XOU was up $3,725.84, or 34.86%. Just like the past couple of months, the stock market rose in July too. The S&P 500, for example, was up 1.13% in July. This brings its year-to-date return to 15.78%, which is quite remarkable. As for my portfolio, it went from 29.53% at the beginning of July to 32.58% at the end of July. This is an increase of 3.05%. And the amount that I invested in July was $909.25. Part of this amount was the dividend that I received at the end of Q2, which was $270.97. I reinvest all the dividends that I receive. This is critical to a long-term investing strategy, and it will make a big difference in my portfolio's total return over time. Dividend reinvesting allows you to buy more shares that in turn will pay dividend and appreciate, thus boosting your overall return and at the same time speeding up your path to wealth. Let's consider 100,000 investment made in 1990 in a fund tracking the S&P 500 index. That investment would have been worth more than $2.1 million by the end of 2022 had the dividends been reinvested. But only $1.1 million had the dividends not been reinvested. The difference between the ending amounts is over $1 million. Let that sink in for a minute. This really shows you the power of dividend reinvesting in building wealth. If you're a long-term investor, invest consistently every month, whether the market is up or down. Reinvest the dividends that you receive and stay the course. All right, feel free to leave a comment below. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time with another update. Peace out.